Hey strong people, Kalle Beck here from StartingStrongman.com, and today I'm going to be talking about Strongman Corporation Nationals events. They were announced. This has been a weird year for Strongman, a weird year for everything. So far, Nationals for Strongman Corporation is still a go. And Nationals is set to take place in Montgomery, Alabama at the Multiplex at Crampton Bowl on October 16th through the 17th. So there's also an online qualifier. You can go to strongmancorporation.com/online qualifier for more information on that, because there's not a lot of contests to go to right now. And I think that runs through the end of August, it says, and it's a cool setup they did, but I'm not going to spend too much time on it. It's just the minimum weights. You need to be able to complete these tasks, 3 out of the 4, in order to qualify. It's like, hey, I'm strong enough to do this. A yoke carry for 40 feet, a farmer's walk for the heavyweight men, that'd be 310, for heavyweight women 200 for 40 feet, deadlift from the floor. For lightweight women, it's 315 pounds. For heavyweight men, it's 650 pounds. And a log clean and press, 1 rep. And this is a minimum. You don't get extra points if you do way more. This is just like a buy-in. Like, if I can do this weight, I'm strong enough to qualify for nationals. And I think that's a really good way to go about it. Log clean and press is 300 pounds for heavyweight men, 260 pounds middleweight men, 230 lightweight men. Heavyweight women, 185, 165 middleweight women, 135 lightweight women. So on to the events for nationals. I actually really like these. They've done a couple of things which I thought would never happen at a nationals, and a couple of things that I've thought should happen at a nationals before that we haven't seen in a while. Starting off Friday, October 16th with a rogue yoke walk. So this is down and back, 120 total feet. That's what I like, is if you go to nationals, it's been 50, 60 feet, and it's just a drag race. And I think rather than make weights heavier, especially for like an amateur nationals, I don't think it's as necessary, is you add an implement, or you do it a longer distance to kind of separate that field. Because, I mean, there's been national titles divided by if someone got a slide penalty or not, which is very subjective sometimes, I will say. So the less we can, if everyone's getting, like, this person's doing an 8.4, 8.5, basically stopwatch air, the more ways we can structure events, especially at something like a nationals where there's so many competitors and so many, evenly matched people, it comes down to who hit a stopwatch faster. The more we can do to separate that length and put more difficulty in it, the better. And making it heavier hasn't seemed to do that. Whoever's fast for 50 feet, they end up right within a couple of tenths of each other. So it's 60 feet down, drop it, turn around, not the yoke, go back. Lightweight women 370, middleweight women 460, heavyweight 500. 600 lightweight men, middleweight men 700, heavyweight men 800. So it's on the lighter side, but it's longer. So, it adds a little bit of difficulty, and if it's too light, they'll make it heavier next year. I would say, that's definitely the lighter side for a yoke, but I like that it's 120 feet. A little bit different. Sandbag toss over bar. That's the event that everyone's doing now. It's become so popular at all the big shows. I wouldn't think that it would be at a nationals, but I like the event. It's a different dynamic. It tests a different skill. Usually weight for height historically has only been something you've seen at a pro level and competing at amateur nationals. The top 3 in each weight class, except lightweight men, sorry, little guys, get a pro card. So this should be something like you're testing the skills to see who is ready to go pro and compete on that next level. And toss is something that you see a lot at the pro shows, so I think it's a good test. Plus, Rogue makes it, and Rogue has a big influence these days, I think. which isn't a bad thing. So in this event, the athletes will attempt to toss a series of increasingly heavy Rogue Strongman bags over a bar. The bar will remain at the set height for your weight class throughout the competition and can not be knocked down. Sandbags will be lined up approximately 10 feet from the bar. You'll start behind a line. On go, you must toss the sandbags over the crossbar. There will be a split time on each bag. Sandbags must be thrown in order. Judging that sounds awful, since there's a split time for every bag for how many classes and how many competitors. So it goes from the lightweight women are, due to 12 foot, heavyweight men to 16 foot. I'll just put the graphic of the weights up there. I don't need to say every weight. But I think it's a good event in testing different skills than just log press, farmer's walk, yoke. We're throwing things. And this is the next one, which I'm happy to see back. The high temp Husafelt stone carry for max distance. Last time there was a max distance Husafelt was in 2016, and there was definitely some gutsy performances. I love max distance carries as an event. And I think this is a good one. We go from 225 for the lightweight women up to 400 pounds for the heavyweight men. It's with a high temp Husafelt, which is like a stubby little rubber thing. It has good grip, but it's real short, hard to pick up off the ground. I don't remember if they said, it says it will be from blocks. Okay. So if it's from blocks, that makes it a lot easier, because I'd say the biggest issue with the high temp is just how short it is for some of the bigger people. Picking it up off the ground is difficult, or can be. I'm not a fan of max distance picked up from a box. I think you should do it from the ground, but hey, you can't have everything, right? So on Saturday, we go to a normal old clean each log clean press, 140 for lightweight women, up to 320 pounds for the heavyweight men. I mean, another good standard test of strength. Good weights, 250 for lightweight men, 200 for heavyweight women. I'd say they're decent weights for amateur nationals. And this is the biggest shock. Saturday, they're going to have a deadlift for max. It's going to be Rogue Last Man Standing deadlift. Bar will be a Rogue Ohio deadlift bar. Athletes do not have to take each attempt. Athletes may step in and out as desired, but once you fail to lift a weight within the 30-second window, you're out. Blah, blah, blah. No suits. Bar can be hitched, stopped. Greasing or oiling the thighs is prohibited. Only baby powder is permitted on the thighs. Powder must be applied before coming on the competition floor. Straps are allowed, of course. So I'll try to remember to put up on the screen, but here there's this big weight chart with lightweight women. It goes from 285. They're basically showing each jump. And I think this is great to show, because it helps coaches like me preparing athletes going, you kind of have an idea. You're like, I think we want to peak to hit a 655 pound deadlift is reasonable for this athlete to do in this next 12 weeks or something. Like now they do 635 or something. But then you look and you're like, oh, well, the jumps go 615, 645, 675. So it's good to know that as the athlete, as the coach, etc. But what I see a lot of strongmen doing, and I know they'll do because I've coached hundreds of strongmen at this point, I've talked to thousands, is they're going to look at this last possible number. For the heavyweight men, that's 885. For middleweight women, it's 535. Like, that's the highest that they're planning to go for those weight classes. And they're going to think, shit, I need to hit an 885 pound deadlift to do well at amateur nationals. No, you don't. Just because that is the last possible weight jump for your class, that does not mean you have to hit it. So my advice is just pick something, whatever the next weight jump up than your current PR, and have that as a goal. And the other thing, as far as training for nationals, I'd recommend for people is there's some events in here where you might not be as strong as someone else, but you have a good chance at beating them because you prepared better. So there's the standard events, like the log clean and press and the max deadlift. People log, like, yeah, you need to practice with the log if you've only been training with a barbell or you haven't had access to one or whatever. You need to practice log clean and press, right? And deadlift, you need a deadlift. You're going to have to do it. But whatever someone's log clean and press is now compared to when they compete and their deadlift is going to be relatively the same. And what I see every time at these big competitions is people forget that the max distance Husafelt carry, the sandbag toss, for example, are worth the exact same amount of points if you win them than the max deadlift. What are the chances are that if you train the hell out of the sandbag toss and the Husafelt stone, that you can improve relative to your competition more in that than you would in the deadlift? Everyone's going to deadlift. Everyone's going to log press. Trust me. What people do, and this is the difference, a lot of the time, of course, strongest, best prepared, best strongman wins. But what people do is they get to training Husafelt and they go, I don't need to train that as much. Yeah, you do. You're more likely to pick up more points starting this contest prep than you are in a max deadlift. Your deadlift's going to be relatively equal to someone else's, going to this, 12 weeks from now. It's going to be about the same. Every event, if you win the sandbag toss, you get just as much points as you would for deadlifting 885 pounds and beating everyone else. But there's going to be a lot of people that don't give the sandbag toss or the Husafelt the same priority that they do the log clean and press and the deadlift. And you have way higher chance of improving in those two events than you do in the sandbag toss over bar and the Husafelt carry than you do in the log clean and press and the deadlift from today till competition time. Let's all hope everyone stays safe and the contest can happen in an efficient and clean manner. Not going to discuss that aspect of this today, but if anyone needs a little bit of help, shoot me a message, store.startingstrongman.com. I'm Kalle Beck. Good luck in your prep for nationals, and remember, all events are worth the same amount of points.